Adoption laws are changing in Ontario today. Now, birth parents and adult adoptees can access identifying information from birth records and adoption orders. Ontario is the 5th province to open records. Joining us now with more on how the process works is Stacey Stevens. Ms. Stevens is a lawyer with Thomson Rogers. Good morning to you. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Mercy. It's great to be here.
So let's talk about what will happen, what people can do as of today.
As of today, if you were part of an adoption process that was finalized before September 1st, 2008, you can apply for identifying information with respect to another member within the adoption triad, as it's called. So if you were a birth parent, a birth child, or a step parent, you now have the right to apply to the government to get a copy of the original birth certificate, the copy of the adoption order, as well as a copy of any substitute birth certificate.
Now, what if you don't want to be found?
If you don't want to be found, you have the right to file what's called a non-disclosure notice, and that, in effect, is to prevent the government from releasing any of your identifying information.
Another lawyer, Clayton Ruby, was on the cusp of that, and you worked with him in order to make sure that people have their privacy with regards to this matter. But what I find most interesting is that you were adopted yourself.
I was.
And you went through a process, and you found your family, yet at the same time, you thought that the privacy issue was an important one. Tell us why.
You know, I had a good experience when I went through the process. I didn't go through the normal channels and apply to the government to get the information. It was something that I was able to do on my own. But although I had a good experience, and I'm sure many other people who do take the same steps will have a good experience, what's more important than that is the fact that the government controls so much of our information, and everyone has a right to privacy, and I felt it was important to preserve that.
And there, I would think, would be a lot of emotions connected to something like this, and people maybe facing possible rejection and other things. This process may not be easy for those who plan to go down that route.
No, that's very true. You know, when this started, we had phone calls from so many people. There's the people that we represented in the application, as well as people who came to us. And there were women who were, you know, back in the 40s, 50s, even the 60s, who were single parents at the time, had been sent away to the aunt's farm and had come back, and who are now, because of the law, the way it came out, were living in fear of the fact that their whole past was going to be exposed. And a lot of these women have kept the secrets, and it's something that was very important to them.
Ontario, the 5th province to do this. Do you think eventually all provinces will open up the adoption process, the records?
I think they probably will. It's a good thing, and a lot of people thought that what we were doing was we were against having the adoption records open, and that's not the purpose of what we were doing. If you get into an adoption situation now, you're going to be told. You're going to be told that at some point in time, when the child reaches 18 years of age, they may come looking for you, and you can plan your life accordingly. What we thought was unfair was the fact that the legislation was going back to the late 1920s to make it retroactive in a sense.
Ms. Stevens, pleasure to speak with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Canada AM continues after this.